I hope everybody's doing great out there during this Corona-19 time. Well, because I'm right now going to make my old fashioned. Now, when I say that, there's a zillion different versions of an old fashioned. Everybody has a different way of doing it. This is not necessarily the only way to do it, but it's the way I do it. It's the way most of my friends that I know do it. So it's pretty consistent when I go from friend to friend. But this is the drink that I like to make. It's a really good drink, and you just need a few ingredients, and you do it a couple times. It's just snap to get her done. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need a jigger, preferably with two sides on it, but certainly gonna need a jigger. A bar spoon comes in very handy. Or if you don't have one of these, you can just use a spoon. And you're gonna need an orange. And I've kind of cheated, and you're gonna need a muddler for sure. I've cheated and already got an orange going here. So I'm gonna put the orange in the glass. Then you're gonna need cherries. Now, there's all kinds of cherries out there, and I'm not pushing or pimping. I'm not pimping anything here. I'm just telling you how I do it. But this is Bada Bing cherries, and the Bada Bing cherries I found are really killer cherry, and they're not super expensive, and they're just really good. You can buy them at Specs Specs anywhere will have them, but I go to the Specs downtown generally, and I buy my Bada Bings and almost everything down there. So you get a cherry. Oops, I dropped the cherry and dropped the stem in there. You get a cherry out, and you drop a cherry in there. You can put two if you want, but I put one because I'm making one individual drink. Put the lid back on that thing. Oh, put just a splash of cherry juice in there if you want to. Okay, put that on there. And then after I do that, I want to add another ingredient that is I love to use, and this is Angostura bitters. Now, there's a zillion different bitters out there. I know it. These have been around for a zillion years. It's made in Trinidad. It's a great product, and it does the job. A lot of people like just a little bit of bitters. You don't have to even use the bitters. I do like the bitters, and I like a lot of bitters. So I'm going to put that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of people would go, oh my God, that's a lot of bitters. That's just the way I like it. I like a lot of bitters in there. Put the lid back on it. Put that there. Now you got your cherry, your bitters, and your glass going here. So here's the only other ingredient we need to add is some simple syrup. Now I don't put simple syrup because I just don't. It's fine. You can make it with simple syrup if you want. But I found another ingredient that a bartender made for me one time, and I loved it. And I use this stuff called Liquor 43. Liquor 43 is made in Spain. It's a citrus vanilla with a bunch of different botanicals in there. But I'm going to cut to the chase. To me, I taste vanilla. It tastes like vanilla. It's very sweet. I use this for my simple syrup. Take this. This is where you need the little side of your jigger, or just a small amount. Put a half of one of those, or a full one of those half-size jiggers in there. Put that in your glass. Then you put your lid back on there. Put the bottle down. Now it's time to use your muddler. There's a zillion different muddlers out there. This one's the one I have. It works just as good as any other ones. And again, you can get all this stuff at Specs or any of the liquor stores that you like to go to. But Specs carries all this stuff, a big department of it. Muddle all this stuff together, mash it all up, get it good and mashed. I like to mash it a lot and get it just really mushed back down there. Because here's the secret to this drink when you get done with this. When you think you're finished with the drink, it's kind of like when you're a kid getting a box of Cracker Jacks. You got a toy surprise in the bottom, which is like a little fruit cocktail that you get to eat after you finish your drink. So put that down there, and you got your concoction ready to go. The one thing you need to add to that is bourbon. The bourbon that I choose is Maker's Mark. And I always tell my friends who ask me, well, what do you like to drink? What bourbon do you like to drink? And I can drink a lot of different bourbons, and I like a lot of different bourbons for different things. But when it comes to 95% of the drinks I make, this is my fave. The reason it's my fave is because it's a wheated bourbon made in Loretto, Kentucky. It's just a great, friggin' consistent product that tastes great all the time. It's just a super good product. I put one of these bad boys in here, drop it in there. You can put another half of one of those if you want in there. Drop it in there. When I'm done with that, I put my lid back. I always put my lids back on. I don't know why, but I put my lids back on. Then I take that, I get my bar spoon again, and I give it a little turn and twist to let all the ingredients marry. Bar spoons are kind of cool because you can stick it in a second and then twirl it if you want to. It kind of acts like a little mini blender. Get that all in there. Then the only other thing you need to add, the drink's ready to go. If you like it room temperature. I don't. I like it cold. I put ice in here. And then I use my bar spoon again to get the ice to go down and also get just a slight bit of dilution from the ice. Stir that around a couple times. And it gets it cold. It also gets that ice to fall down in place and melt. That's an old-fashioned the way I make it. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.